One win kept the Governors from the FCS playoffs a season ago. Now, with the conference's deepest returning cores and expectations higher than ever, Austin Peay is looking to take the next step, and we'll have head coach Jeff Ferris, the preseason Offensive Player of the Year in Chris Parson, and representing the defense, David Portu. And we'll get to you guys in a second, but Coach, I want to start with you because I go back to that first year. You inherited a roster that was devastated by the transfer portal, and then you had to rebuild from the ground up. Now, when you look at how far you've come, what gives you the confidence that you guys can take the next step, get into the playoffs, like arguably you should have been last year?
Yeah, the work of these players, and I've been fortunate to be around some really good football teams. From a player leadership standpoint, I've never been around a group like this, and these two guys are the biggest reason why. I mean, since January 21st, our first team meeting, we talked about changing our limits and winning every moment, and these guys have done that on the field, off the field. We've broken community service records, team GPA records, and, you know, I learned from Coach Cutcliffe a long time ago, winning is an all-the-time thing. And usually when you win in the classroom, in the community, that translates to the grass. So I couldn't be more excited, Kendra.
Coach, you know, every coach that takes over after your second year last year felt like sometime during the year there was a turning point that happened where you guys, you know, became a winning program last year at 7-5. Can you talk about when you felt that really happened and kind of made that turn? Because from looking on the outside, it certainly feels like that happened last year.
Yeah, it did. And I think it happened before a game kicked off. I think it happened in fall camp. You know, we had an unbelievable offseason last year. You know, I'm so excited for this season because all of the metrics from a GPS catapult technology standpoint, we've blown those away. And a big reason why would be the player-led team. So I felt like that happened in fall camp. We obviously opened up with a big FBS win, played well in the SEC. We've just got to learn and take from last year and grow from it. And I'm excited. And no one's going to put limits on what we're capable of. For sure, not these guys or our staff. And we're excited to kick off. We start fall camp a week from yesterday.
Right around the corner. And Chris, for you, I mean, returning to Clarksville, you say it's home for you and you have unfinished business, but I mean, you were such a dynamic quarterback last year, plenty of offers, I'm sure. Why stay in Clarksville? Why play for Coach Ferris and give this one last go?
Yes, ma'am. Well, first I want to start off by just expressing how grateful I am to be able to represent my teammates, our university and our football team here at Media Day. But it was an easy decision for me. You know, I never say that I came back. I always say that I never left. For me, just my love for my teammates, the relationships that I've built since I've been at Austin Peay, it's something I'm extremely thankful for. And then also just development. I love learning from Coach Ferris, Coach Billerman, and Coach Spurrier, and I've seen my game take tremendous strides since I've been at Austin Peay. And for me, my goal and aspiration is to be in the NFL, to be an NFL quarterback. And so I truly believe that learning from them, finding ways to continue to keep getting better, that this is the right place for me. And I'm extremely happy with my decision. I love being at Austin Peay, and this is truly home for me.
And I remember last year you talked about rocking the bow tie.
Yes, ma'am.
Little James Bond action there.
Yes,
Same vibe for this year?
Yes, ma'am. We're running it back. We're running it back. Yes, ma'am.
Well, speaking of running it back, you had a great season last year, over 3,000 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, and you ran for a whole slew of them as well. I think watching you play against Tarleton State last year was maybe the best FCS performance I saw all last season. All culminates in you becoming the preseason player of the year. What does that mean to you to receive that?
Yeah, you know, I'm thankful and honored that people look at me in that light as the Offensive Player of the Year for the preseason. But, you know, I'm solely team-based. And, you know, my main focus is finding ways to continue to keep getting better, becoming the best leader that I can be, and helping this team win a national championship. And so I'm more focused on our team goals, but I am extremely thankful to be looked at in that light. And for me, honestly, it just comes down to me executing at a high level and doing whatever I can to help my team win.
David, for you, this is your first year with the program, a transfer from Charleston Southern. When you hear Chris Parson talk about the team, when you hear Coach Ferris talk, why was Austin Peay the perfect place for you?
Yeah, a big reason why I came to Austin Peay was because on my official visit, I got to sit next to Chris and really talk about, you know, why he's staying and the culture they have here and what they did last season. And another guy I spoke to was tight end Jackson Head, and just the amount of buy-in that I saw from everybody on this team. It really impressed me, and it's something that I wanted to be a part of. And I knew that we could grow off of the season they had last year, and I knew that we could do something special here.
David, how excited did you play in front of the folks at Clarksville, undefeated last season at home? That's got to be something that excites you to play in front of those folks.
Yeah, I know that they get crazy in Clarksville, and I'm excited to see the atmosphere and just the packed-out stadium. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to keep that home tradition going.
And David, for you, I mean, it was a hectic off season. You transfer, you get engaged, you're planning a wedding, and you're preparing for football. How do you manage all of that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's definitely a lot of long phone calls with my fiance, and you know, just you know, keeping the main thing. You know, when I'm at football and I'm, you know, locked in on that, reviewing plays, and just, you know, being around the guys, and then, you know, when I'm at home, I get to, you know, try to help plan a wedding. So, you know, it's exciting.
That is exciting. Get ready for wedding planning. That'll be the biggest thing you do this offseason. Coach, ask you a little bit. You're retaining a ton of players. At one point on the Blue Blood podcast, you said it was around 63. I think it's somewhere in that area. How much easier does it make you in the offseason, you know, what you're trying to do? Not necessarily easily, but maybe you can focus on things at the next level. How much of a difference does it make returning that many players?
Yeah, it makes a huge difference, and the continuity is not only with the players but the coaching staff as well. To be able to retain strength coach, all of our coordinators, you know, now instead of me getting in front of the room to teach our standards, I've got Chris Parson to do it, or Caden Williams to do it, Altorian Sandifer, and Torrey Hamilton, and these guys do a great job leading by example. And you know, bringing back so many players, you know, we have unfinished business, as Chris would say. We had a bad taste in our mouth from the last regular season game, so they explain that to their teammates better than I probably could. So it's been a lot of fun. But these guys have worked tremendously hard, and we got a lot of work to do, and I can't wait.
Chris, I'll throw that to you. You know, as your second year in the program, Coach says, you know, he wants you to lead. How do you take that next step in, you know, increasing what you do, not just on the field, but off the field, and leading these guys that are returning and trying to improve on what you did last year?
Yes, sir. Well, you know, like Coach Ferris said this offseason, we changed our limits. And, you know, we have a new standard here at Austin Peay. And Coach Ferris and the staff did a great job of bringing in the right guys. We got guys like David Porter that came in that are truly going to help us achieve our goals. And so just reiterating that to the team, understanding that every day we got to come in with a 1-0 mindset, finding ways to continue to keep getting better, everybody buying in, like that's what it takes to be great. And so we have a great group of guys, great group of players, and it's definitely something to be excited about for sure.
Man, I'm getting excited just talking to him right now. It's fun. It's fun.
Hey, you and Coach are very similar in that you guys wake up at the crack of dawn, 4 a.m. every day,
yes,
very
ma'am.
disciplined. You eat the same thing for lunch, and it's very steak, rice, chicken rice for dinner.
Yes, ma'am.
Where does that discipline come from, and how have you seen the fruits of that on the field?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I think it starts off at first with my dad. He was a man that I saw every day get up and work and provide for our family, extremely hard working. He instilled those things into me. And so also just with coaches like Coach Ferris, our strength coach, Coach Collette, Coach Billerman, Coach Spurrier, I'm able to see how it's supposed to be done day in and day out. And so also just talking about, you know, the aspirations we have. There's a lot of guys on this team, you know, we want to be great college football players, and we also want to have a shot at the next level. And so just doing whatever it takes to be able to achieve that and, you know, better our chances. And so locking in on the diet, taking care of our bodies, being smart, making good decisions, handling our business in the classroom, it takes what it takes. And so for that, you know, we have a great sense of buy-in at Austin Peay, and, you know, I just try to do my best to uphold that standard for myself and my teammates.
You take a look at the schedule coming up. You guys have some big-time opponents at Vanderbilt. Week 2, you open against Gardner-Webb. But, Coach, when you look at this, you guys are a team that's preparing and has high expectations to be in that playoffs this year. And so how does that start with the schedule?
Yeah, it all starts with, you know, our first opponent is us. We talk about that over and over again in team meetings. We got a really talented opponent on a Thursday night in Gardner-Webb. We're going to have to play our best to win. And before we talk about anything else, we got to be the best version of Austin Peay. We've got to represent Clarksville, Tennessee, our great university, the way that Clarksville and Austin Peay deserves. And I think we're well on our way. We got a lot of work to do, and I can't wait to get started with camp next week.
And Chris, you attended the Manning Passing Academy. We didn't get to talk about that, but highlighting that, and congratulations for that honor. I'm sure you took so much away from that campus.
Yes,
Austin Peay will open up the year August 27th against Gardner-Webb, and the UAC opener at West Florida September 19th. Coming up next, it's the